Hello everybody, it is Megan. It's been a while and I keep saying that I'm back, but like maybe I'm back. This is my September TBR. There is no gimmick, no game, nothing fun for this one. Next month there is a readathon I'll be participating in, so that should hopefully make the choices a bit more interesting. But right now I have things I need to read, things I'm excited about. So I just have a stack of books to show you and I'm really hoping that I read them. That's the dream. So should I just jump right in? I think that's probably a good idea, right? So the first two that I'm going to lead with are shameful that I've not read them yet. So the first one, which is absolutely the most ridiculous for me not to have read, because it came out, let's say when it came out. Yeah, it came out in like 2022, I think around September-y time, is None of the Ninth, which is the third book in one of my favourite series of all time. I'm obsessed with Gideon and Harrow, two of my favourite books. They're both so different and I love them both so much, and yet this one, I just haven't read it. I have read 156 pages of it. That is where my bookmark currently is. I will be restarting in order to continue reading. I think I'm just scared of finishing it and then having to wait for a Lecto, and what if this one, you know, messes me up just as much as like Gideon and Harrow did, which it will. Like it absolutely will. And also it's doing the same thing where like it's Nona's story, and like the first was Gideon's, the second was Harrow's, now it's Nona's, and I'm like, okay, but what about the characters we were following in Gideon and Harrow's story? Like I want to learn about them too. I'm sure they'll come into it, but like right now I'm just scared, but it's fine. I'm determined to read this in September, which I'm sure is what I said last September after I reread Gideon and Harrow in preparation. But it's like, maybe I'll treat myself to a sneaky reread of that too, to fully prepare myself for this. Like, who knows? Oh, what is this about, you ask? So I will tell you that Gideon is about Gideon Nav, a member of the Ninth House. The houses are just like planets in space, and they each sort of specialise in a different form of necromancy. They're invited, each house is invited to the first house to participate in a trial to become a lictor, which is basically just super fancy necromancer, by the Emperor. Everyone's like, oh, what a great honour. The Ninth House has nobody to send, apart from Harrow, who then tricks Gideon into going with her. And it's just, there's like a murder mystery element, gothic haunted house vibes. Like it's very much about people who live in space, but it has a very like grounded, like isolated setting going on, as well as just like necromancy. It's fantastic. The writing is so unique and funny. I really love it, and I can't believe that I haven't read this yet. But if you're interested, I absolutely recommend. But it's also not for everyone, so like don't blame me. The next one that is, it's absurd that I've not read it because I also reread in preparation, is Painted Devils by Margaret Owen, which is the second book in the, is it called the Little Thieves series? Is there a different name for it? I don't know. It's the second book in what I believe is going to be a trilogy, which is about Vanya, who was given as a child to the gods of death and fortune, and as she grew up she found some of the restrictions placed on her a tad much, so ran away, became a thief, and things snowballed from there. And well, actually she didn't run away and become a thief, she ran away and became a maid, and then stole the maid's life. It was a retelling of the Goose Girl, and yeah, it's one of my favourite books. I love Little Thieves. I reread it to read this. This arrived and I got scared that maybe it wasn't going to be as good, and it's just been staring at me. So September, I'm conquering my fears. I'm no longer going to be scared of sequels to books that I've absolutely loved, and I'm going to tackle it. It's going to happen, and I am really excited about it. I'm also scared that like, when is the next book coming out? I don't know. I think it only just got a name? I say this as if I know things. I know Margaret Owen was teasing about the name on Instagram, whether or not it has a name. It does. It's going to be called Holy Terrors. It does not have a cover. It has a release date of June 2024, so that's not actually that far away. And I can only hope that Illimicrate do another special edition, because this, stunning. And I must have one to match. It also has this on the back. I don't know who these people are because I've not read it yet, but we'll see. I'm excited. I don't really know what this one is about, other than it follows directly on from Little Thieves, and I think involves some kind of virgin sacrifice, judging from what Margaret Owen was teasing on Twitter as she was writing and editing it, so we'll see. Next I have two obligatory reads. So the lovely Lisa from Lisa Does Life and Jem from Bookish Gems host the Burley Owleting podcast, and they have invited me to be a guest in their September one that comes out in October. I think that's how time works, and they let me pick the book that we were going to read, and I have gone for Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reid, which I think the cover on this US edition is absolutely stunning, and it's a retelling of the juniper tree like mythos, but I don't know what that mythos. But I do know that there are trigger warnings for this, for I think like sexual assault, cannibalism, gore. Are there any written in the front? These were just ones that I found in Goodreads reviews, because I feel like I remember there being talk of cannibalism. I was like, maybe that's not for everyone. No triggers in the front, any in the back? No, just acknowledgement. Okay, so definitely look up triggers if you're interested in this one, but let's give you a synopsis. A gruesome curse, a city in upheaval, a monster with unquenchable appetite. Marlinshin? That's going to be a frustrating name for a main character. Okay. And her two sisters live with their wizard father in a city shifting from magic to industry as Oblia's last true witches. Okay, there's just a bit at the top. Let's read that bit. From highly acclaimed best-selling author Ava Reid comes a gothic horror retelling of the Juniper tree, in which a young witch seeks to discover her identity and escape the domination of her ruthless wizard father. Perfect for fans of Shirley Jackson and Catherine M. Valente. I have read Catherine M. Valente. Comfort Me with Apples. I did like it. Okay, so yeah, there's some dancing, some late night trysts. Caught between history and progress, blood and desire, Mullingham must draw upon her own magic to keep her city safe and find her place within it. So it's, yeah, a standalone fantasy horror thing, and I enjoyed The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid, and I'm very intrigued about Studying Drowning, which is coming out later this year, so I would like to read this before it does. So yeah, this is the podcast book, so I will be reading it before the end of September. And my next mandatory read I forgot to grab, so give me 1 second. It is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is part of the By the Angel Along, hosted by the lovely Becca Fowle. We have Lisa and Tori also doing a live show, I believe. And yeah, this is the second book in the Last Hours trilogy, which is the fifth series in like publication order, second series like chronology order, in the Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, which follow groups of Shadowhunters as they fight demons to protect the world. It's a very, very general synopsis. This is, like I say, one of the later installments in the series to come out, so there's no point me going into much plot detail for you, because if you are interested and haven't read them, that's spoiling things, and if you are interested, then you probably know enough about this for me not to give you details. But yeah, we are very nearly done with the Shadowhunter Chronicles as stands currently, and I love this series so much, and I'm so excited to get Lisa's reactions to this book specifically. So yeah, come join us for the live show. I think it's going to be like the second week of September, but Becca will have definitely tweeted about it as and when dates are finalised, so follow the Twitter and everything, which should be linked down below. Okay, and then that's it for obligatory read and things that I must force myself to read because I do really, really want to read them. And let's just jump into some sort of other options. So it's gonna be September, and I'm just manifesting autumnal vibes and weather, and I need it for me. And in that vein, I would like to read Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young, which is one of my bookbox books from Fairy Loot Adult, I believe. It's very pretty. This is giving autumn, right, with the green and the cabin and the trees, and this is also giving slightly autumnally vibes, so that's what I'm going with. And this is about Emery Blackwood, who's, you know, the love of her life is accused of murdering her best friend. It's giving Veronica Mars. Interesting. So August is sort of run off, and he returns 14 years later to bury his mother, must confront her first love and the reason he left so abruptly, but the town wants August gone again, and as the island begins to show signs of strange happenings, the emergence of deep betrayals and hidden promises threatens to reveal the truth behind Lily's death once and for all. Interesting. I like the snap of that a lot. I had no clue what this was about. It just sort of was one that arrived from Fairy Loot and I just put on the shelf because it had very pretty edges and promptly forgot about. But it sounds really good. I'm really intrigued by this. Very excited that I've put it on my TBR to like hasten in autumn. Another bookbox book that I have done the same thing with is The Book Eaters by Sunny Dean. This is a book that I have read 60 pages of in the past and for some reason not continued with, but it also has a sort of insular house mystery vibe. Once there was a mother who fed on stories and would do anything to survive. So this is about Devon, who is a book eater. She is sort of like a vampire. They have to eat books to live rather than like consume blood. It's like the book itself, which is interesting. It's an interesting form of world building. And then she has a child who needs to eat people, or like minds, to live. So like he doesn't straight up just sit with a knife and fork and like chow down on someone, but he eats like people's brains. I don't know if that's in the synopsis actually. Oh yeah, second child is born a dreaded mind eater. What happened to the first child? Okay, intriguing. So yeah, she's looking for a cure for his hunger. This is a story of escape, a mother's savage devotion, and a queer love that will electrify readers looking for something beguiling, thrilling, strange and new. And yeah, I got 60 pages into this at one point, was intrigued, was having a good time, and then just got distracted by something else and never picked it up again. So I will 100% just be starting over because it's quite short, and the audiobook is available on Scribd, so if I do find myself that physically reading it is a struggle, I have a lot of physical reads on my TBR this month, so audiobooks will be quite helpful. So yeah, I figured this might also help sort of ease into spooky season maybe, because I have some spooky books I want to read that I'm sort of saving for October, so I feel like this is a good transition for that. And then sticking with the book box theme, this is not so much like autumnal spooky vibes, this is more I needed some audiobooks and this whole came through from the library. We have Song of Silver, Flame Like Night by Amelie Wen Zhao, I want to say, which is the beginning of a duology. This is a Fairy Loot edition. It's stunning, like truly gorgeous. And what is it about? Okay, in a fallen kingdom, one girl carries the key to discovering the secrets of her nation's past and unleashing the demons that sleep at its heart. Once Lan had a different name, now she goes by the one the Elanshan colonizers gave her. No one can see a mark that is burned onto her arm until the night Zen appears at the tea house and saves her life. Zen is a magician, and they both have secrets. Fate connected them, but their destiny remains unwritten. Both hold the power to liberate their land, and both hold the power to destroy the world. Very dramatic. Just says inspired by Chinese mythology. I wonder if there's a specific mythology involved, or if it's just because we have a phoenix, a dragon, a tiger, and a turtle on the edges. So like I don't know enough Chinese mythology. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I'm intrigued by this one, and I have the audiobooks, which should be pretty easy to work my way through and get another book book off my TBR. A couple of ebooks that I've got a couple of arcs that I'm very excited about. I have Starling House by Harrow, which is a haunted house story about a woman who is looking after her son, gets a job at this haunted house because she's drawn to it, and then bad things happen because it's a haunted house. I have no idea how like gothic and scary it's going to be, but I love Harrow's writing, and that is pretty much all I need to know. And I'm also very much getting into the haunted house vibe, so yeah, I'm hoping at some point to pick up like Mexican Gothic. I've read Tell Me I'm Worthless. I want more like haunted house stuff, so Harrow delivering, incredible. So yeah, that is very high on the list of things I'm excited about. What else do I have? City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which came out a while back, so I think I also am due to get the hold on the audio from my library soon. I don't know what this one's about, which is bad. I should. I feel like it's also getting quite dark, so I need to be done with this video soon so that the lighting doesn't go all crazy. So this one is about a city under occupation and on the verge of revolution. There's always been a darkness, but never more so than now. The chokehold of its criminal underworld, the boot of its factory owners, the weight of its wretched poor, and the burden of its ancient curse are all tamping down on the city. Who's it about? So it's just about the city that I've got in this synopsis. There are no characters, no nothing. So it's just about a city on the verge of something, and I'm assuming some kind of catalyst sparks either a revolution or some other kind of catastrophe, and then we go from there. So I have no idea what that's about. I'm hoping that it's good. I've heard fantastic things about Adrian Tchaikovsky's writing and fantasy, so fingers crossed that it is. The cover's stunning, so we'll see how that goes. And finally, just for a bit of levity, bit of light, bit of fun, Chloe from Persistent Bookworm, whom, if you're not aware, I live with, has been reading Emily Henry recently, and I reread Beach Read, had a fantastic time, and I've just not read the others, so I think I'm probably I was gonna read them this month because it's August, it's summer. I thought it would be fun, and then I just got distracted by other things like reorganising my bookshelves and listening to the Era's tour set list on repeat. And yeah, and like I'm not reading this evening because I'm going to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty season 2. I'm knit because I'm really cool. So yeah, these will be a next month thing, but I have People With Me on Vacation because I have the American edition because I love how floppy the covers are and I love the spine, which is about Alex and Poppy, who were best friends, and then something happened and they haven't spoken in a few years, and then Poppy's like, Alex, come on vacation with me one last time, we'll try and fix things, and things go from there. And it's told in like dual timelines, so you get the before the friendship fallout and after, and I love it so much. Alex is like such a great love interest. I love him. And then we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which it's about Charlie and Nora, and it's like a reverse Hallmark movie. It's like Nora repels men. She's in relationships, they go to a small town and they find the love of their life in this small town and end up like settling down there. She's just like, but cities, bro, like what are you, why am I the evil corporate woman? But then she goes to a small town with her sister on holiday and meets Charlie there, who is her like nemesis from work, and it's so good. Chef's kiss. I love it so much. And yeah, I'm excited to read this one. And finally, we have Happy Place by Emily Henry, which is the only one I don't have the American edition of because I'm not sure it's out in paperback yet, and I want them all to match, so I bought a cheap copy of the hardcover as that was coming out because I couldn't not read it anymore. I was waiting and I was waiting. I was like, no, it's fine, I'll just wait until the paperback is out, and then I couldn't. So Happy Place is about Harriet and Wynne, who were dating and then break up. Well, they were engaged, they break up, and then their friends invite them on one last holiday before they sell like the summer house, and they have to pretend to be engaged. It's so good, it's so good. Oh, I'm so excited to reread these. Oh, fantastic. So that's all of it. That's everything that I have a solid plan to read. There is obviously space for me to read around things here, but yeah, I think a 12-book TBR is pretty reasonable. I should be able to fit a couple of other maybe romances or cozy fantasies in and around that, and hopefully I'll be vlogging for September because I have like actually things planned. Like I have plans that's not just me last minute going to the theatre, like I have actual plans in place already. So fingers crossed that I vlog and edit. The vlogging is fine, it is the editing that is the issue, so let's pray for me. But yeah, like and comment if you want to. Let me know what your reading plans are for September, and all of my other social medias will be linked down below. I will, fingers crossed, see you in another video very soon. Bye.